Hi, I have in front of me an 85cm fiberglass satellite dish. It's available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie. First of all, to mention, the option on this is it doesn't come by default with an LMB, so you can add on a single LMB or up a quad LMB by choosing the option that comes in the box. Okay, so we're going to get to the main event here, which is this dish. I might just discuss first of all why you go with this dish. The typical applications of it would be an 85cm dish, normally used for not the Irish but foreign channels, or UK but foreign channels. So something like Astra 1, you could use this for French or German channels, or Hotbird, which would be Polish channels. Normally an 80cm or 85cm dish is ideal. And the fiberglass element of it is normally in coastal areas where there's a real risk of wear from salt air or things like that. So a fiberglass dish, it's expensive, but once you put it up, it is never going to rot away. So there's basic 4 materials that are used in this construction of this dish. We have the fiberglass dish itself. We have the bracket for the dish here, that is galvanized. We have the LMB holder, which is plastic, and we have the actual holder for the Lmb Arm, and that is aluminium. Okay, so all are pretty resistant to wear. So let's just go through the assembly process quite quickly. Now I'm going to be hidden here in a minute because the sheer size of this dish. I'm going to try to give a side profile here, so you can see the front of the dish and the back of the dish here. And when we go to do the assembly here, what we normally would do is we'd come along. We'd use the 4 small bolts and washers here. We position this on here. We can see the elevation bracket here. We'll bolt this onto the back of the dish and just rotate it around. You might see a little bit clearer. And then what we have is we'd have a wall bracket, doesn't come with it here, or a pole, and we'll just tighten it on extremely tightly. So once we have that part, we have the dish effectively up and mounted. Okay, I'm just going to move this out of the way, but imagine it's bolted onto the back of the dish at this point. The next part of the process is we need to come along and we need to put in the arm to come along and hold the LMB. So the LMB is the electronic part of the dish, which will be picking up the signal. So the signal has a curvature that's forcing the signal here, reflecting it back to a central location. And the central location is the LMB, which is feeding the signal down into your satellite receiver inside. So in rather clever design here, what they've done is they have molded this in a manner where the V shape that's on this slots directly in here. And I don't know if you can see that, I'm just trying to angle it best for you. See it? So hopefully you can see it there. And there is holes pre-drilled in this, and also a threaded hole in the actual dish itself. And we'd use these 2 long bolts here to come along and bolt the LMB arm onto the dish. So now at that point we'd have the bracket on the back of it and the LMB arm sticking out like this to hold the actual LMB. So now at this point I'm going to move the dish out of the way, and I'm just going to focus on the last part of the assembly process, which is pretty straightforward as well, which is the LMB arm here. So at this point what we're going to have is we come along and we have a hole drilled here, and we have the LMB plastic holder here. Now this is designed to hold a 40mm neck LMB, which is practically universal in terms of universal dishes, that it's always going to be 40mm necks. So what we have here is we have this bolt and screw. We would push the bolt through here, hold the washer nut on the back, and then just screw it in tight, and it'll lock this into position. Then we would come along, put our LMB in here, and then put the cap on top of it to hold the LMB into position. It'll be aiming directly into the dish, and we'll do that with these 2 bolts and screws, which you see here. I'll just hold one example of it in my hand here. Okay, and that's the dish fully assembled. Okay. Would you use it for an Astra 2, which is for BBC skies, things like that? Almost invariably you wouldn't. You'd go with a smaller 60cm dish. Would you use it anywhere other than seaside locations? Certainly the vast majority of sales are in seaside locations. But if you had, let's say, a house where it's going to be extremely difficult to get up and do maintenance on your dish, going with fiberglass dish can be a good investment, simply because the cost of the dish is relatively low compared to the hassle and expenses of having somebody climb up into a difficult to reach location. Do we sell huge quantities of these? They're probably about 1 to 2% of our overall sales. They're certainly in many ways the best dishes that we sell in terms of they're so sturdy and strong. There's a slight disadvantage that they're not perforated, which is an advantage in terms of Perforated dish is less likely to move in the wind, but they have a real niche market here on it. These particular ones, extremely good quality. Price point is not cheap, but it's not unattractive in terms of our pricing is extremely competitive. So that's it anyway, an overview of the 85cm fiberglass satellite dish from freetv.ie.